The annual inflation rate in Argentina has accelerated to 71% in July 2022, the highest since 1992 from 64% in June and above market expectations of 70.8%.
And to know more about the issue, we are now connected with the Indonesian Ambassador for Argentina, Ibu Niniek Kun Naryatie. Hello, Excellency, Madam Ambassador. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Yes, thank you for your time as well, because as you mentioned earlier, it is right now 7 a.m. in the morning in Buenos Aires, if we're not mistaken, right? All right, so all right, so Madam Ambassador, we would like to know about the current situation, in particular in Buenos Aires and of course generally in Argentina. So first of all, can you tell us about the current economic situation in Argentina amid the high inflation?
Yes, of course. As mentioned through the video clip just recently, you see that the current economic situation in Argentina is difficult. You know, the inflation year on year, it's already reached 71%, July 20, and it was predicted triple digit at the end of the year. It was very scary scenario, actually. And you also aware that the Argentina government has to govern with a debt of 44.5 billion, while it has no reserve at all to pay it. And to combat this situation, pandemic and war in Ukraine also worsened the situation. The rising global cost of energy caused total import to outpace revenue from agriculture and other sectors. Argentina is a net energy importer, so drain it is very quick. And though Argentina already able to start of default earlier this year, but the legitimacy of the New Deal with IMF's austerity measure it entails continue to be questioned by many. That's why many people demonstrate on the street, because they still don't believe that this one can be implemented in Argentina. And this also sparked by the new political crisis with the resignation of the then Minister of Economy, Martin Guzman, the political uncertainty and speculation of market. This worsened the situation, of course. The value of peso fell very deeply, and because it's not only the situation, because the Argentinian, most of them don't want to own their own currency. It's based on their history. In any moment of crisis, they buy US dollar for savings. Understandable. So this situation now is quite difficult. It is difficult to know something is working in Argentina with the price in grocery store changing every week. Mm-hmm. They don't put the price tag on the goods on the shelf.
Wow.
Because they don't how much it will cost next week.
Yeah. All right.
Especially also in construction material. Mm-hmm. So this is the situation right now in Argentina.
All right. So I mean, Argentina was once a breadbasket, and now they have the Super Minister of Finance, Sergio Massa, and it seems like it didn't really change the situation. So are the people complaining about the issue so far, Madam Ambassador?
Well, as you see from the video clip, people are demonstrate on the street, but they are not demonstrate individually or illegally. They demonstrate in the street organized by the organizations such as the Workers' Union or Argentine Workers' Confederation. So they demand a strict measure by the government to reduce the cost of living, especially by giving them a more subsidy, because the cost of living is increased significantly. So yes, there are many demonstrations almost every week actually. We can see.
Okay, Your Excellency. What is actually the government's solution to address the high inflation that Argentina is currently experiencing?
Well, the government actually has done a lot, but situation is not quite good enough to settle the economic crisis. In the earlier days, the government implement what they call it ratio cuidados. That is, they control the prices, almost 300 products in early 2020, but now it's extended to 900 products. They control the prices, especially the basic product of people. And also, government banned some export commodity. For instance, beef, soybean, yeah, and also soybean oil, because they don't want to the price, domestic price increase, because the demand for the beef is still high in Argentina. Other measure that government also put in place is the subsidy in Argentina is quite significant and drain their budget. So the government do like a resegmentation of utility prices to better reflect the income of medium and lower income group. Before, the subsidy applied to all segments of the group, not for the one in needs. So many actually already been in place by the government, but of course, inflation cannot be tackled in one day, one night. Needs some time. If they did what they need to do today.
All right. So, Madam Ambassador, you're witnessing directly about the worsening situation in terms of economic crisis there in Argentina. So I believe also that we can take some lesson learned from this situation there in Argentina. So could you please elaborate for us what kind of lesson learned that we can take from the situation right now in Argentina in order to, let's say, avoid the same thing could happen here in Indonesia? For particularly for the citizen of Indonesia, what should we learn from there, or maybe also from the government side?
Well, first, we have to maintain and increase the trust in government. The government should be able to inform the people what is the policy needed and why it is needed, and then the people will understand this is needed to overcome the crisis. This is a very difficult task, of course, because when people suffer in real time, you cannot just say, we are doing this because we need this one in the long term, because what we need is the near term. Right now, we need the money for tackle the inflation to overcome the income disparity. So what lesson learned is, government should apply, of course, a strict measure while also helping the one needed. I believe this is already been done by our government, that providing a social security net. In here, they call it subsidy. In Indonesia, social security. So lesson learned is to be a prudent policy, fiscal policy, and also communication with the public. It's always very important.
Right.
All right, Madam Ambassador. What about the Indonesians that are living there? Did they file any complaints? And if so, what are their main problems?
Well, actually, Indonesians living in Argentina are not so many. It's around 150 people, and most of them are a family of the embassy, and they live here quite some time, and they don't face any difficulty, because for Indonesian living in Argentina, if they are working with the embassy, the salary is not affected by inflation, because they were paid by dollar, not by peso. So it's not really a matter to them. But for those who are not working with the embassy, they face difficulty, of course. But there are not so many, because they are missionaries and no student. There are some expatriate, but they are also still in a good condition. So I don't see any difficulties from Indonesian living in Argentina. Hopefully they will be still in Argentina.
All right, Madam Ambassador, thank you very much for giving us some view on what's actually happening in Argentina. And hopefully situations can get better. Hopefully inflation rate could go down, especially by the appointment of the new finance minister. And hopefully all Indonesians are doing great over there. Thank you so much once again, Madam Ambassador.